Fertile Crescent, Sumerian art and architecture. About 7,000 to 8,000 years ago, approximately 4,500 BCE, in an area known today as the Fertile Crescent, the earliest civilizations of our planet began to develop. Mesopotamia, the land between the rivers, was the ancient Greek name for the Fertile Crescent, an area between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers that stretched northward from a point just north of modern Baghdad to the mountains of Armenia, encompassing most of what is now Iraq. Today, the term Mesopotamia refers to a broader geographic area of the ancient world that covers the lands of Sumer, Assyria, and Babylonia. Why did civilization originate here? One of the primary reasons was the abundance of water. Water, particularly in the form of rivers, provided early humans with many of the basic elements that they needed for survival. Waves of hunter-gatherer groups came into the area, conquering the previous settlements and assimilating their technology, religion, and culture. Among the earliest of these groups were the Sumerians. In order to make use of the area's rivers, these people constructed dams and canals for irrigation and drained marshes. The Sumerians are also the people who invented the wheel, both used for transportation, and the potter's wheel. During the Sumerian period, the Sumerians also developed a government, a legal system, economic organization, an enduring writing system, cuneiform, religious literature, and art and architectural form. Thus, by 3100 BCE, civilization may be said to have begun in southern Mesopotamia, the area called Sumer. Mesopotamia, an ancient region of southwest Asia between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers, area of modern-day Iraq that was settled before 5000 BC, home of numerous early civilizations, including Sumer, Akkad, Babylonia, and Assyria. During the Sumerian period, the Amorites, a Semitic group who moved into the region shortly after 2000 BCE, established the Old Babylonian Kingdom, which unified the entire valley. The Amorites were numerous enough to make their language the prevailing speech in Babylonia and merge their culture with that of the Sumerians to create a new literature, a different political organization, advances in sculpture, and a reorganization of commercial procedures. In addition, they gave an impressive maturity to the elementary mathematics and astronomy developed by the Sumerians. About the same time that the Amorites came to Babylonia, another related Semitic group, the Assyrians, took over the eastern part, Assyria, of northern Mesopotamia. Although they, too, borrowed from the culture of the Sumerians, they proceeded more slowly than the Amorites, and Assyrian civilization flowered at a later time. Ancient Mesopotamia bequeathed to the Western world a great legacy. Today we still use Assyrian words for many plants and minerals. The Babylonians were the founders of our algebra and astronomy. And the sexagesimal system of the Sumerians appears in our astronomy and timekeeping. 60 seconds, 1 minute. 60 minutes, 1 hour. Sumerian art and architecture. The Sumerian influence was very strong throughout Mesopotamia and left deep impressions in the cultures that followed the Sumerian period, approximately 3100 BCE to 2000 BCE. Sumerian art and architecture were paramount among these influences. Early Sumerian architecture was distinct. Sumerians are among the earliest peoples to use the pyramid shape for religious structures. The particular pyramid shape they employed was the ziggurat, or step pyramid, one of the world's first great structures. Because of its availability, clay was the most common building element in these temples. Such materials as wood, metal, and stone were harder to come by and had to be imported. Temples were built according to two structural designs: ground-level buildings and platform-supported structures. Little is known about the palaces and other secular buildings of Sumer. Some of the remnants existing today include circular brick columns and simple facades. There is also evidence that suggests a type of vaulting was used to support the roofing of these buildings. Most of Sumerian art takes the form of sculpture or painting. Portraiture was particularly common. A great deal of Sumerian art was created as propaganda, depicting Sumerian rulers and the great deeds they had performed. Because writing was a very new invention and by no means available to the masses, spreading the word about the strength of an army or the might of a king was done in a pictorial form. Though few people could use early language, everyone could understand the meaning of a warrior king's fierce face etched in stone. The Fertile Crescent. Deep within the Middle East lies a valley that has been called the birthplace of civilization. The ancient people of this land created advancements that resulted in the dawn of a new age for humanity. The technological innovation of farming allowed this culture to flourish as the very first truly recognized civilization. In what is now Iran, Iraq, Syria, and Turkey, there run two rivers known as the Tigris and the Euphrates. When the rivers flood their banks, the deposits help create a highly mineral-rich soil. This rich soil in the wide plains that surround the rivers helps create perfect land for farming. This is how the area came to be referred to as the Fertile Crescent. Thousands of years ago, the nomadic Sumerian tribe recognized this characteristic of the land and settled the area. They developed technologies such as irrigation and the plow to enhance their farming abilities. This allowed for food to be plentiful and the population to grow. Once food became easily accessible because of farming, the society was able to focus efforts on other technologies. The wheel, the sail, and bronze and glassworking developed over time. In addition, cuneiform, a system of written language, was also developed. The wedge-shaped markings became a commonly used method of record-keeping for trade and commerce, as well as laws within the culture. By 3000 BC, various communities had developed around the Tigris and Euphrates rivers. These city-states emerged as independent communities that were often run by religious leaders. After a while, conflicts between the various city-states led to the areas being run by warrior kings rather than religious leaders. By 250 BC, the warrior king Sargon the Great had unified all of the city-states under one Sumerian empire. Even with warriors taking over as the rulers of the city-states, religion did not diminish as a key component of the society. The cultural groups created ziggurats, or step-sided pyramids, for worship space. In addition, votive figures and ceremonial practices developed to honor the gods of the people. Another group of settlers was also entering and settling in the area. The Hebrews had come to this region not to advance agriculturally, but to seek control of a worship center. The Hebrews wished to control the area of Canaan, in what is now Israel and Palestine. They believed this area had been promised to them by God. Although they were able to take control of the area around 1000 BC, they soon lost that control, and it has been a center of great battles and unstable political structures ever since. Although the Fertile Crescent has seen a great deal of political strife over the centuries, the fact remains that it was the first center of civilization as we know it today. Complex political, social, and religious structures were put in place to govern the society and guide its advancement. Technologies such as the first permanent homes, written language, the wheel, organized religion, both monotheistic and polytheistic, irrigation, and organized law and government were born in this region. Civilization as we know it today owes its success to the land of Sumer. The Sumerians produced one of the most renowned of ancient rulers, Gudea of Lagash. Gudea was known for his devotion to education, religion, and good works. He built many temples, promoted learning throughout his kingdom, and urged mercy and tolerance for the weak and helpless. He brought peace and prosperity to his people. During Gudea's reign, Sumerian art was in full bloom. Many fine works of art were created under Gudea's rule. Most of the statuary produced at this time was used to decorate temples and other religious structures. Some of the best portraits of the time were those of Gudea. One statuette depicts this ruler in worship before his gods. He wears the Persian lamb fur cap of the Ensi. This statue was made in honor of the goddess, Geshtinana. Seated Gudea statue. The diorite stone sculpture of the Sumerian ruler Gudea shows the ruler in a seated position with his hands clasped in prayer. He is wearing formal robes and headgear to indicate his elevated status in society. Along the cloth of his robe are cuneiform inscriptions with the names of the temples that he either built or renovated during his rule. These inscriptions testify to his accomplishments and goals as a leader. There is also an inscription stating, "Gudea, the man who built the temple, may his life be long." The prominence of this inscription on the statue is an indication of Gudea's desire to secure his position as a good and honorable leader, devoted to his faith and the advancement of his people. Sumerian art and architecture. As the culture of the Sumerians began to flourish in the fertile valley near the Tigris and Euphrates rivers, greater focus was placed on the development of art and architecture. Limited in durable resources, the Sumerians began to rely heavily on gold, marble, lapis lazuli stones, clay, and some diorite. Clay was the most impactful material to the culture as they began to understand how to turn it into ceramics and clay bricks. The artifacts found in the region testify to the culture's ability to adapt materials to their needs. The impressive ziggurat pyramids are one such example. These step-sided pyramids were composed of mud brick and sat on a platform. This platform raised the pyramid higher than any other structure in the area. Staircases rising from all sides led to the main sacred area at the top of the pyramid. The height and massive nature of these pyramids show the importance of the worship of the gods to the Sumerian people. The interior of the temple platform housed a more personal form of religious artifact. Small votive figurines were placed as an offering of prayer. The carved small figurines represent both males and females with wide eyes and hands clasped in prayer. The men wear curly beards and fringed skirts. The women wear fringed dresses with one section of cloth worn over the shoulder. Hundreds of the statues were found, indicating the abundant offering of the statues to the gods by many individuals. Another artifact recognized among the Sumerian people was the seated statue of Gudea. This political leader is shown in a seated position with hands clasped in prayer. Cuneiform writing indicates who he is and that he was dedicated to building and renovating temples within his kingdom. This stone carving was made of particularly durable material, indicating that the sculpture was intended to last. The piece also provides a glimpse into the life of one leader of the era. This piece and the votive statues show the ability of the Sumerian people to create stylized portraiture. Luxury items were also found among the artifacts of Sumer. A harp with the head of a bull on it was decorated in gold and the precious blue lapis lazuli stone. The existence of luxury items of leisure and the extravagance of the materials used indicate the status of the individual who owned it and the advanced nature of the society. In addition to the golden bull harp, headdresses and other jewelry items made of gold were found. The ability of the Sumerian people to gain easy access to food through farming allowed them to explore advancements in many areas of life. These advancements led to the development of written language, cultural practices, religious and political orders, and a vast network of trade and commerce. Mesopotamia, treasures from the past. The artifacts discovered in the Fertile Crescent have provided art and cultural historians with a great deal to study. An understanding of the first written language, law system, network of trade, farming, and architectural advancements only scratches the surface of what these ancient pieces teach us. As archaeologists discover these items, they carefully analyze them to gain a better understanding of the people, the technology, and the contributions that the culture made to the advancement of mankind. The bead shown provides much more than simple decorative adornment. Found outside of the Mesopotamian region, this bead helps historians understand that the individuals occupying Mesopotamia had a trade connection with people outside of the region. To have developed relationships with other cultures for the purpose of trade shows an advanced political, social, and economic understanding. The two seal imprints shown below provide a great deal of information about the culture they came from. Through the representation of gods and goddesses and their actions, it can be deduced that an organized religion has been established within the culture. These images also indicate the importance of nature to the people, as they are surrounded by sacred vegetation and have plant life growing out of their bodies. The small black and green duck amulet shown allows for a deeper analysis of the culture's appreciation of nature. Worn on the body as a sacred jewelry piece, the duck amulet provides a connection to nature. A shaman may have used this amulet during sacred rituals. The basket-shaped hair ornaments shown below reveal the luxury available to the people of the Mesopotamian region. Made from gold and finely detailed, these jewelry pieces indicate a specific status in society. Only elite individuals could wear these extravagant baubles, perhaps the wife of a leader. Finally, the creation of a written language reveals the advanced mindset of the Sumerian people. The Sumerians inscribed the ceramic tablet with cuneiform writing on both sides. This type of advancement in any society is an indicator of the technological abilities and stability of the people. To have the time to create such an ordered system of recorded language is a hallmark of an advanced civilization.